Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update. First off, I want to apologize. I am getting to this a little bit later in the week. We had a long weekend here in Canada for Victoria Day, so I took some additional time off. So I am finally back at it here on Wednesday. So yes, I'm a little behind, so I apologize for this, but I did want to still record the reading for you guys for this week. So let's get to it, my friends. This week we've got a really cool week, a lot around helping us create this new path and new life and helping us work through the things that might be coming up along the journey. So let's get into it. So the first thing I got was this cornered animal. So they kind of were showing me this like wolf with his hackles up and growling and teeth bared. And it was very much this energy of just feeling cornered, feeling kind of like on the defense. So what came through was too many options and decisions clouding the path, a need to keep safe with one eye open. Release the need to be perfect. Release the need to cry. Sacred tears fall to the earth and are collected as a memory. Reading between the lines and into your story. Safeguarding your heart so as not to get hurt again. Release stress and take a chance. Things can go well for you if you don't let fear win. Okay, let's pause here. So lots to unpack here. So a lot of us, we have started a brand new chapter. A lot of us, we have started a brand new timeline. This eclipse, this past eclipse that we had, the full moon that we've had in Scorpio, all of those energies have been super intense, very major planetary things that have been happening. And it has really been these huge catalysts for us to just let go and to move forward in a really, really advancing way. So I'm saying a lot of us are stepping into brand new timelines. A lot of us are stepping into a brand new path, which is so very exciting. But what was coming up was we may not be feeling that way. So even though we have this awareness of like, okay, I've started a new timeline. I know something has shifted. I feel blessings are coming. Maybe these new things that we've embarked on or we're starting to move forward in are actually making us feel a little triggered. And that's exactly what was coming up with this animal that was feeling cornered, just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the right decision is. I'm afraid. I've got to protect myself. So they're just showing me this very protective energy that is coming through here to try to keep yourself safe, because it's like, okay, there's too much new. There's too much new and it's making me uncomfortable. So that might very well be the situation, is as we start these new paths, it can be very uncomfortable. It can make us feel like we need to be in defense mode. But what's really cool is we're starting to come to this awareness that like, hey, you're actually safe, okay? It's actually safe for you to move forward, and it's safe for you to start believing that things can go well. So they really were showing me how we're trying to safeguard the heart. We're trying to protect the heart. We don't want to be hurt again. We don't want to go through the past again. We don't want to continue that path. But we're getting this awareness that things have changed. And this is the download we need to now accept and integrate, is you aren't in your old life anymore. You're in a brand new chapter. So it's time to take in the sights. It's time to actually start getting excited as opposed to defensive about the changes that are coming or happening. So what came here next was release resentment within your heart. What if you allowed yourself to let go of any grudges or anything that's holding you back from being in love? So this was really cool because they're kind of showing me how we're starting to heal from the abuse of the past. So for a lot of us, it might have been in work, it might have been in our relationships where we were just so hurt and so damaged. And we actually built resentment because it was like, these people didn't see our light. These people didn't appreciate us. They treated us horribly. Maybe a lot of us were kind of like that doormat, and it's not a nice feeling. It's not a good feeling. Maybe we kind of abandoned ourselves or betrayed ourselves in order to be loved. But this is changing, and I keep getting this very strong message, like it has changed. We're in this new space, and this is finally allowing us to drop these shields down and also release any of this resentment that we've been holding on to, like an anchor. And they're kind of showing me that, like, I always need to protect myself. I always need to keep safe. And this anger that built and built and built from people pleasing for so long, for sacrificing for so long. It's like we're terrified that if we get into this new position or take into a new relationship, that we're going to repeat that, right? So this also trickles into that anger aspect. So this week we might notice a little bit of this anger rise up, this little bit of unhealed hurt or unvalidated hurt that rises to the surface, because we're needing to acknowledge it. We're needing to feel it and go, okay, where have I actually been angry this whole time, and I just haven't let myself release that anger. So what came through here was to believe in yourself and to take care. It was really cool because, once again, it's like once we acknowledge these sides of ourselves, these hurt sides, these scared sides, these angry sides of ourselves, and we start just giving ourselves the grace to be human and to experience what we need to experience, this freedom comes in. And then this new belief system starts surging in us. And they're showing me that, this new belief in ourselves, going, but you know what? Like, I do want to leave this behind. I want to leave the past in the past. I don't want to be resentful anymore. I don't want to hold on to grudges anymore because it just hurts me. And we have to be careful because they're also showing us applying our old methods to new ways. So once again, it's like going into a new environment and then just expecting everyone to be the same as before. And they're like, no, you got to remain open-minded and open-hearted, because once again, you're not in the same situation. And we see this a lot in new relationships, when you've been so used to being treated one way that when you get into a new relationship that is healthy or good, we freak out. It's like, what do you mean you're not going to do this? You're not going to go toxic on me, And sometimes we're the ones that self-sabotage because we are just expecting that it will always be the same as it always has been. But this is where we need to slow down. We need to take a breath, take a pause and go, okay, this is my old wounding that's coming up. This is my old trauma that's now safe to be released. So this new belief starts surging in our lives in this new chapter because our eyes become open to, this is different. This is different. So let's continue on. We have, you are finally safe. How beautiful is this? You're finally safe. You've healed the wounds that bound you, that kept you locked away from the world, hiding your face from it all. Now you are ready to face the light, your light. Now you're ready to stand in the sun, fierce and unmovable, trimming the fat so that you can see your strength, getting to the good stuff, losing the protective barrier you felt you needed for so long. For so long, you were lost and afraid, but they can't hurt you anymore. Steering clear of gossip and hate, entering a period of mourning, for a new day has begun. Mourning the losses and being tender with your wounds, for there were many. Honoring your sacred self and the journey you have begun. But the period of mourning will be over the moment you realize all that you truly deserve. Facing fears of being trapped, alone, and disregarded, creating a new chapter. How can you take the initiative? How can you step out into the world and shine? No one can dim your light anymore. No one can take your dreams unless you let them. A shift in perspective, letting the light bleed in. You are safe. You can be free and still help others. You can take solid steps towards your future without sacrifice. Okay, so let's pause there. What a beautiful, reassuring message here. It's so, so beautiful because we're finally coming down from this protection mode to this feeling of safety. And they're just showing me this safe haven where it's like, God would not lead you here unless he knew this is what you needed. And they're just showing me this relief and this beautiful like release of any burden from your shoulders. And it's quite beautiful, this energy that starts dropping in, this peaceful energy, this like, it's okay. We know it's been scary. We know it's hard when you're trying new things. It can be super triggering when you're in a brand new life, a brand new environment. But it's okay to let yourself feel safe, even in the times of change. So we're getting this amazing validation this week that when we feel these wounds and we heal them and we work through them, that we are creating this brand new chapter. And we're seeing how our wounding was keeping us very small. It was keeping us very safe, but it was also a disservice to us and to the world because it was hiding our light away. It was hiding our gifts away. It wasn't allowing us to share what we're here to share. And so we see this a lot with a lot of our light workers is a lot of light workers have had very traumatic lives. Like, let's be real. A lot of us have had to go through real darkness so we can understand the light and we can help others along the journey. You know, it's sometimes we've had to go through major shifts, major challenges, and it's really forged us into who we are. But with that, we also find this pattern in a lot of us light workers that we just retract. It's like, well, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm so done. I've been so wounded. Some of us too wounded. And then we just shut the doors and we hide ourselves away and we never want to do anything again. We want to keep ourselves safe. We want to keep ourselves protected. But what I'm really seeing now is we're finally waking up to, but I want to be in my light and I want to work with others. We had this awareness drop in last week as well. It's like, I want to work with others. And now we're starting to emerge from that cave. We're starting to realize, hey, you know, I do want to be a leader. I do want to shine. I do want to be out there. And it's so beautiful because we're finally developing this foundation of safety and coming out into a new world, because they're kind of showing me the world has changed since you last were really in it. So a lot of this distrust is starting to shift. And I love this because they gave this example of like trimming the fat so you can see your strength. And it's really interesting because they're actually showing me this reflect in a very physical way. Some of us actually will gain weight as a protective barrier. And this goes into a very spiritual level here. A lot of us might have been gaining weight or gaining fat. And a lot of us, in the spiritual reasoning behind this, is to protect ourselves. And this is how it's coming through in the physical body, is we don't feel safe. So what can keep us protected? What can keep us safe and protected? So they're really kind of showing me that we are actually releasing the need for this. So they're actually kind of showing me a bit of a transformation, even in our physical bodies, that's going to be taking place now, because we're releasing the need for extra weight, which could also translate to extra burdens, right? So they're kind of going, as we release the need to defend, to keep ourselves safe, we start releasing the unnecessary weight, the unnecessary load, so we can move forward with ease. And it's showing, just like a fitness journey, the muscle beneath, right? So a lot of times we're like, oh, you know, we don't see the strength that we've built right away because it takes time to release the extra weight to see what's underneath. So they're kind of were showing this example of even that fitness transformation of finally the muscles are being revealed. You're finally seeing all of your hard work and all of how that's paid off. And similarly in our spiritual journey, right? We're releasing the burdens, we're releasing the shield of protection to see, wow, we've been strong all along. We haven't even needed this shield. So it's really beautiful how we're releasing the need for this protective barrier. And for some of us, that might actually translate into that physical as well. So for so long you were lost and afraid, but they can't hurt you anymore. So this was cool. And this was giving us this awareness of, once again, things have changed. So we're releasing this need to hold a grudge. So what came up this week was this gossip and hate as well. Because we're realizing, we were lashing out at others because once more we were hurt. So we see that a lot of times as this retaliation energy of how we want to maybe speak negatively about others or get back at others for what they did to us in the past. But now we're laying down the sword, and that's exactly what they're showing me is we're laying down the sword. We're releasing the need to fight. We're releasing the need to speak ill of others. We're just letting it go. We're like, you know what? That person was on their journey and I'm on my journey. And now I'm ready to move forward in love and peace and in harmony and doing what's actually best for me. So it's really, really beautiful how this is transitioning. But don't be surprised if with this end of a chapter, the mourning comes in. And that's what they're really highlighting is us needing to nurture ourselves, because there's going to be some emotions that might hit this week. There's going to be some mourning that will happen, some grief over, the pain, over what transpired in our past. But this is where we need to honor the journey. We need to honor ourselves. And that can also mean validating ourselves, because once more, they're kind of showing me someone who is very alone in their journey. They didn't have the support that they needed. And sometimes we're the only one who can actually validate what we went through. So take time this week to not bypass your emotions and to be very mindful of how can I show up for myself and how I'm feeling and what has been coming up for me, even if they're more negative emotions. Maybe it is anger, maybe it is hurt, maybe I do need to grieve, and just letting yourself be in that process and comfort yourself through it all. So it's really cool because once this mourning period completes, we're now shifting into this more positive mindset of okay, now I see what I deserve. Now I see the mistakes I made in the past by letting people walk all over me, by getting taken advantage of, by whatever the story is. And we're not going to repeat the past. So we're now ready to claim this is what I need, this is what I deserve, and I'm going to grab it. So we're facing our fears, and we're realizing once more that when we take the initiative, we can change our lives. So how can you step into the world and shine? No one can dim your light anymore. No one can take your dream unless you let them. A shift in perspective, letting the light bleed in, seeing you are safe, seeing you can be free and still help others. You can take solid steps towards your future without sacrifice. And isn't that key? Without sacrifice. So many of us felt that we have to give everything away to receive even just a morsel in return. And now we're shifting the mindset. We're going, abundance is mine. Abundance is here. I don't need to sacrifice to achieve abundance, to achieve my dreams. All I need to do is realize what's already there in front of me and claim it. Really, really cool. So the other reassurance that came in here was seeing the truth from a mile away. Okay, this is so cool. So they wanted to assure you, you're incredibly intuitive. You're incredibly perceptive. Okay, and this is where self-trust goes to a whole other level. So seeing the truth from a mile away, seeing those who would harm you, take advantage, not really care for your needs, and those who would see you shine. So we're getting this huge awareness this week around how intuitive we really are, how dead on our gut instincts really are. And they're showing me like a sharpened blade. So we've had lots of practice. We've had lots of sharpening that has taken place, and now we're like lethal. And that's what they're showing me, is like your intuition is lethal. It's so on point. So we need to be trusting ourselves. If something feels off, it's off, and we're just going to know. So they're kind of showing me that you already know the answers. When you meet someone, when you go into a new environment, you know immediately if this is right for you or if it's not. So I'm seeing some of us need to stop talking ourselves out of our instinct and stop trusting logic over the heart and over what we're receiving intuitively, because you are incredibly smart, you are incredibly intuitive. But also a little warning, make sure you're not acting from your wounding, okay? So similarly, differentiating between the two. What is my intuition and what is my fear? So what can help us there? And they're showing me walks in nature being so beneficial. A lot of us are going to get a lot of downloads when we spend time in nature, when we are embodied in nature's essence. It grounds us, it supports us, it calms the mind, and it quiets the ego so the soul can be felt, so the soul can be heard. So they're really mentioning, if you're struggling getting your clarity, go to nature, because that's where the answers will be found, okay? But trust yourself, and know that you are smart enough and intuitive enough to differentiate between those who would harm you and those who would see you shine. So self-sacrifice no more. Have conversations around expectations and growth. Being you is essential now. Being you is to the benefit of all. So this is when they were kind of showing me someone kind of stuck behind, kind of like outside the window looking in analogy here. So once again, you're starting to resent being in the shadow. You're starting to resent that you're the one who always has to sacrifice and to bend. And rightly so, because this is your alarm bell going, I'm not going to just stay here. I'm going inside. I'm going to go in where the action is, and I'm going to share my gifts and showcase my light. So they're really showing me this release of sacrificing what you want and what you need, and getting very, very focused and intentional, even with your choices and decisions around what it is you do require now for your life. So for some of us, this is going to require important conversations. This is what I expect from this. This is what I need out of this experience. And unfortunately, if this can't work, then I'm out. And they're kind of showing me this newfound self-respect, where it's just like, you know what? I have to put myself first now. So once again, someone who bent almost until they broke, right? Now we're reversing the story. Now this is your empowerment era. Going, I don't think so. I need you to meet me here. So really important conversations are going to be taking place this week in our relationships, in our careers, in our dreams. And once again, we're releasing anything that is slowing us down. So they're kind of giving me that like snip. We're snipping the cords. We're releasing energies that just aren't serving us. So whether that's a mindset, whether that is an individual, whether that is, letting go of certain situations that are just draining you and holding you back, we're snipping that away. We're releasing those energies. So we're no longer feeling stuck, and we can be free to be ourselves. And that's what's key, is we're really getting this beautiful evolution this whole year into really claiming our uniqueness and really emboldened actions being taken towards our greatness, because we know we deserve to be in it. So how can you negotiate terms? How can you be very clear about your expectations and what it is you want and you need, and letting things move forward in a harmonious way that serves not just the people around you, but yourself, and in turn then serves the people around you. As we talked about last week, what serves you serves others. So what channeled next was be clean and pure in your actions. Resist anger or getting back attitude. Wounding around self-sufficiency, going your own way is a blessing. Releasing doubt from your future. This is pushing you into a whole new direction of health, wealth, and freedom, creating a foundation of lasting stability. It's finally time to align on all levels. This was the missing piece needed to get you to where you needed to go. This is super cool. So let's pause there. So And this is cool. So once again, we might have some anger that arises because sometimes people don't acknowledge our greatness. And that can be very frustrating, especially if you've put all this time and effort into your gifts, into building yourself up, into doing the very best job you can. It can be very disheartening when people don't value that, or people don't see your greatness immediately. And they're kind of showing me this anger that flares. And to be honest, they're kind of showing me some of us being way too humble. So we don't really know how to be assertive and go, hey, I can do this, or hey, I'm really good at this and I need to show you this. Because they're kind of showing you that's why people tend to look over you or not value you, is because for so long you didn't value you. So they're showing me this shift and this change of being more assertive and claiming your power. And this almost like forces people to see you, because it's like you're so big and powerful in your energy that people turn their heads and they're like, whoa, okay, I see you. So some of us, they're kind of showing we need to inform others that we've changed. So if you're someone you've been, say, in a long-term relationship, and they've just seen all these different sides of you, and perhaps this is family, right? A lot of times family is just like, oh, well, it's just this, it's just you can do this for me. You know, they tend to push boundaries. That's what a lot of families do. It's just family, you'll do it for me, whatever. But now I'm seeing this week is we're starting to put in these boundaries and be like, no, I'm not going to be pushed around. No, I'm going to say no to this. And we're taking a stand. We're finally showing others, hey, I have changed. I'm not going to be walked all over. I'm not going to be bypassed anymore. I am powerful. This is what I can do. And it's like this amazing glow up that happens, this amazing rise in confidence. And this has kind of been the push we've needed to get out of our safety, our normal, our familiar, and get pushed out of that comfort zone to advocate for who we are. So some of us, we are going to be pushing our services. They're kind of showing that. Like some of us are going to be going, hey, you know what? I'm really good at this. I'm going to start my own business, and I'm going to advocate for my own business, and I'm going to market my own business. It's almost like this fire gets lit under you, because it's like, okay, I'm done waiting around for people to see me. I'm just going to do this and they'll see me. That's what's so cool, is we're finally willing to be seen. And this helps us release the anger or this resentment of this getting back attitude, like you didn't see me, so now I'm going to get back at you, or this anger and resentment towards others who don't see our greatness, because we're recognizing why. It's because we ourselves weren't ready to recognize our own greatness ourselves. So we're taking this shift, we are removing this energy, and it's quite cool because it's going to be very empowering. So to touch on this wounding of self-sufficiency, yeah, this is another area where we might get that anger come up. Well, I've had to do everything by myself. Nobody has helped me. Nobody has supported me. So I'm getting the alert, like the alarm bells going here. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Have you been really willing to receive help? Have you really been willing to ask for help? Or have you been trying to muscle through it all? Right? So they're kind of showing me this very strong masculine energy, but then the wounded feminine energy, where it's just like, I'm so hurt because nobody's offered to help me. I'm so hurt because nobody's seen me. I'm so hurt because nobody supported me. And some of us are going to have to feel that. And it's almost like out of necessity, our masculine energy had to step up and just lead and do everything. But now we're realizing we don't want to do everything by ourselves. We don't want to have to continue to do all the hard work. So this is where delegation starts coming in. So once again, we're getting these conversations this week about what can change, what help do we need, what is going to help us release the anger and this pain around not being supported. And once again, we need to validate that could very well be true. Maybe no one did come to help you. Nobody was there. Sometimes there's truth to that, and we have to acknowledge that truth and that hurt, because all parts of you deserve recognition. But now we're wanting to heal. So we need to make this conscious decision that we're not going to keep going back to that wounding. Once it's been heard, once it's been nurtured, this is where we can go, okay, well, how can I change this? Maybe I need to open up my energy more and be more receptive to help. Maybe when people have asked, can I help you? We've said no. Maybe now we need to start saying yes, right? And then they're kind of showing me like a team being put into place. So for some of you, this will resonate where it's like, okay, if you have children, who can I call on to help me with the kids here and there? Who can I arrange to help support me, right? Who can I ask more of that has the energy and expenditure to help? And if you have your own business, putting together like a team, who can help me with this? Who can help me with that? How can I get support, right? So they're really showing me this new mindset of being willing is key. So the moment you say, I'm willing, it opens a door and it shifts, it softens this energy, because once again, a lot of times we've just been in such a masculine energy of taking charge and doing everything on our own, that we just get so used to it that we don't even acknowledge that the surroundings have changed. You're out of this survival mode, but you're still in it. You're still claiming that energy, even though you don't need to anymore. So once again, this recognition lands this week. You're not in your old life anymore, okay? We need to drop the weapons. We need to drop the defense. We need to drop this attitude of I can do it all by myself. You can, but do you want to? And where is your inner feminine energy needing to now step up and be like, hey, I want to be in my softness. I want to be in my flow. I want to be able to find the peace and the balance and restoration and rest. So they're just showing me this beautiful harmonization that's starting to come in now, because you're finally willing to prioritize it. So this is what's beautiful, is this beautiful balance that is happening and this willingness to receive. So some of us need to have that as an affirmation. I am willing to receive. I am willing to receive help. I am willing to ask for help. And stating it to the universe too. Thank you, universe, for providing me with the support I require. I am willing to receive it. Because once again, the universe can give you opportunities, but it is up to us to take them. So we get this perspective shift, okay? We get this total 360 transformation. And we start to see that going our own way is a blessing. So another side to this that they're bringing in is some of us are going to recognize this week how deeply talented we are and how the traditional way actually angers you. So a lot of us are going to get this awareness, because most of us who are light workers, we're different, okay? And it's true. You're going to have some sort of different mentality, something that's different about you, because that's what's needed, is someone who can wake up and shake up the reality, that can help others see differently. So they're kind of showing me how this unique energy has been so squashed and so suppressed for so long. But now we're starting to see it as a strength, because in your heart, you've known all along, deep down, there is nothing wrong with you. You're just here to do something that no one's done before. So this week, we're going to start taking a chance on that uniqueness. We're going to start taking risks and opportunities to be more in that uniqueness and showcase that uniqueness. And then releasing the resentment around being different. resenting others for judgment. This is really coming in, and you're starting to see, maybe I can be accepted now. Maybe I can find the right people who are willing to see me and look at things a new way. Because once again, they're showing me the world has shifted. There's been a really big collective shift. So there's more and more people now that are much more open than they used to be. And this is now the time. This is now the time where people are going to be looking for answers, and you could be that person giving them those answers. So they're kind of showing me that going your own way is a blessing, okay? So once again, when we're someone who's a trendsetter, who's never done something like this before, there's no traditional route, right? Almost every reading the past few weeks has been about blazing your own trail in some respect. So when we're the first to do something, when we're the first to be this innovator, we can have a lot of doubt and we can have a lot of fear, because it's like, well, I don't really know how to do this. There's no formula, there's no path, there's nothing that can kind of direct me or show me the way. But that's where we can get caught up in the doubt. And they're really saying, don't get caught up in the doubt. Trust your brilliance. Trust in yourself. Trust in the universe to show you the way, the voice of your soul, your intuition to show you your way, not the traditional external validation. So once again, this is training us to get incredibly in tune with our inner guidance systems. This is really propelling us to trust ourselves on a whole other level. And it's really beautiful, because it's like, okay, now I'm going to take this step and this risk and this chance on myself, even if it seems crazy, even if it seems like it's going against everything else that everyone else does. That's the beauty. And you're seeing that your uniqueness is your strength. It's beautiful. So this is pushing you into a new direction of health, wealth, and freedom. I love this. So once again, we are going to be cultivating things in a brand new way. And they're kind of showing me this solid foundation, right? So the solid foundation we're creating is now based on self-belief as opposed to self-doubt. It's changed. So before, perhaps we were building all of our dreams actually on our wounding. From our wounding. Now we're going to be building our dreams on self-love, on true self-compassion, true self-empowerment. So think about how that's going to shift your dreams and the manifestation process tenfold. Things are going to be like falling into your lap, like windfall of abundance. And this is what's going to actually give you lasting stability. Because once again, a lot of us built on unsturdy ground. And now we're making the shift. So it's finally time to align on all levels. This was the missing piece needed to get you to where you needed to be. How beautiful is this? So from here, they were showing me Hercules. So they were showing me this God, right? This doing these heroic acts. And it was so interesting because it was just kind of this example of showing people what's actually possible. So Hercules, heroic acts on behalf of the people, showing them the impossible made real. How cool is this? So a lot of us, as soon as we embody our power, as soon as we start just going for it and doing it, we are opening so many people's eyes to the truth, to what actually can be possible for them. And we're leaving a legacy. That's what I'm hearing. I'm literally hearing the word legacy. You're creating this amazing legacy that you're going to be leaving behind for others to also take the inspired action and to go against perhaps everything they've been taught, everything they've been programmed to believe, and take a chance on what and who they are and what they're meant to be doing. So we're closing the chapter to our past for good, so you can live by your own words, your own authenticity. Deliverance is near because you chose to remain in your authenticity. So breaking down barriers to reveal unseen growth, stepping forward into the light to be free. This is so cool. So heightened intuition, move intuitively towards your goals and take the aligned action. Remembering you have a lot to offer this world. Keep a focused intention. Following your heart brings the best results. Healing is your virtue. Share your gifts to the world. So this is amazing. What a beautiful way to end this week's reading. So much reassurance. You're here to take these steps. You're here to blaze your own trail, to leave this amazing legacy behind. And you're here to trust those intuitive nudges that you're receiving, because they're really showing me, like, once again, if there's no formula, if there's no path, trust the one that is laid before your feet, the one that is being developed in your heart, the pulls, the nudges you receive from the universe. You will never go astray when you listen to the voice of your heart, even if it goes against all logic, even if it goes against all the things you've ever known. It's time to take a chance. And it's so cool because we become our own saviors. And they're really showing me this victim mentality shifting into this leadership, right? Where it's like, I'm saving myself. I'm taking the actions. I'm going to do this. So everything that we thought we couldn't do because of external circumstance, or because we were waiting on others, or because we felt held back, we're freeing ourselves from all of those strings. And we're going, no, I'm doing this no matter what. I am making a plan. I am putting forward the effort. I am truly going to listen to my intuition. And they're just showing me this amazing empire that is built from this foundation of pure self-belief. Really, really beautiful. So let's pull a card. I want to pull a card for us this week. Any final messages do we need to know for this week? Whoa. Okay, we got a lot. Okay, let's just take what we got here. So we've got the Yes card. I love this. The Mother Healing card and the Break Free card, which is so, so cool. Oh, and then we have Helpful Person. Okay, this is wonderful. So the Yes card, let's start there. So the Yes card, it's time to say yes to yourself. It's time to say yes to these opportunities that are coming towards you. It's time to say yes to what you are wanting in your life without holding back. So I'm just getting this very strong surge forward energy where it's like, just do it. Just advocate for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Stop putting everyone else first. It's time to step out of the discomfort. It's time to step inside instead of constantly being on the outside looking in. This is your time to shine. So say yes. So then we have the Mother Healing. This is beautiful. So I feel like the Mother Healing card is very relative to, once again, the feminine energy, those feminine qualities, the nurturing, the loving, the compassion. And that's what we need, because once again, we're going to be scared. We're going to have these triggered moments of like, oh my God, can I do this? And oh my goodness, is this possible? And can I stand up for myself? It might be the most scary thing you've ever done, just to stand up for yourself, or to advocate for yourself, or say yes to your dreams without any path before you. But I'm really hearing this is where the loving mother energy is going to be so helpful, because what does a loving mother do? It encourages their child. It loves their child. It goes, it's okay. We can do this together. You're not alone. And that's exactly what this Helpful Person card coming in is so beautiful as well, and so complimentary, because it's like you become this person, this best friend, this mother energy to yourself, and you take your own hand and go, see, we can do this. and you become the advocate for your life, which is so, so beautiful. And you're willing to be helped, right? So some of us are actually going to be sent some individuals that are going to be coming in this week as well. And that's what they're kind of showing me, is these soul connections that remind you you're not alone. You don't have to do this next chapter all by yourself. You can release this chapter of self-sufficiency. You can release this chapter of you need to do it all on your own. And to act from the wounding, it's now time to receive the help you rightly deserve. So beautiful. So last but not least, the break free. How cool is this? So yes, this sums up this week so well. We're breaking the chains that bound us. We are releasing the energies that don't serve us. We're breaking free from the repetitive mindsets of anger and hurt and resentment. And we're rising above so we can finally be seen, so we can finally emerge from that cave and claim our gifts and be all of who we are without exceptions, without sacrifice. So how amazing is this week? What an amazing week for us to truly step into our light, to truly allow ourselves to shine. I'm so excited. So my friends, that's all I have for us this week. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you did, be sure to let me know. I also wanted to let you guys know that I am opening up my schedule again for more sessions. I also am offering new subscription offerings at a very low rate where you can get monthly Reiki, channeling, messages, whatever you like, only for $35 a month Canadian. So it's super, super affordable. And that can give you guys that monthly healing that you're looking for. I also am open up for my deep healing sessions where you get everything that I have to offer. So check out my services. I'll leave those linked below. And I'm sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.